we're now 13 months out from the trade. And Minnesota has a great fan base too. So it's not like it's night and day.
It's been 13
but
months.
You've walked into a place that is different than I would say anywhere else in the NBA, maybe anywhere else in sports in terms of, and he knows this, he's flying all over
I
the
was
country.
laughing. I'm remembering the moment that the trade happened.
Oh, God.
Because I was with my wife and my son.
I will never forget.
Where were you?
I was at the house. I was at my house in Minnesota. It was crazy. I had seen everybody. I had worked out Friday morning at the practice facility. And even my friend was, Cam was there.
Right.
He was there. Everyone was there. So it was with me. And then even my friend was playing point guard for the workout at the practice facility. And I was just remembering when we got back from the practice facility, and I was like, man, fellas, we got to enjoy this moment. Jordan's in Paris Fashion Week. And I'm like, man, fellas, we got to enjoy this moment because it's going to be the last calm Friday before, the season's over. And I was like, we got to enjoy this last calm Friday, calm day before, Monday's media day. It's already Friday afternoon. Like, we got to enjoy these moments, these last moments of calm. I didn't know I thought I would have till Sunday at least, but I had about 5 hours before, I'm getting a call that, Tim wanted to come to the house to drop something off. And I was just like, well, we'll just drop it off on Sunday. We have team dinner anyway. And he was like very adamant that he wanted to come see me at the house. And I was just like, all right, yeah, come. He came over. I would never forget, 8:30. Funny enough, number one pick was playing Cam Ward versus Virginia Tech. And he came over to the house, walked in the house with my dad and everyone there. And right away, first words was like, you're starting your modeling career in New York. I was like, what? I thought it was a joke. So I
awesome.
laughed about it. And he was kind of like looking at me like, this ain't a joke. And I told him, say that again. Say it with your chest. I want to make sure I heard this correctly. He's like, yeah, man, we traded you to New York. And I remember my dad said, what? My friend walks out the room like, hey, everyone's shocked. I'm shocked. And yeah.
I mean, what went through your head?
I'm still stunned. But
yeah.
I was just, you had such a career in Minnesota. We just came off making the Western Conference Finals. I've been blessed to be with Minnesota in the bad times and the great times. And now we're at the great times. And, your Timberwolves tenure just gets cut out of nowhere. Unexpectedly. Yeah. No one in the NBA heard a murmur, a whisper, murmur. No one had an idea. No one had a clue. And next thing you know, it's like, we just had a whole meeting about doing workouts, me and Ant together. And the assistant coaches were very much like, we were going to do this. We're going to do this. Maybe tomorrow we come in and work on Saturday. Like no one has an idea. Right. So
man,
it was so wild that, you're just in shock. Cause it's like, there's just no way your tenure ends that abruptly. It just is over. It's just done. And, I've obviously never been traded before, so I didn't know how that reaction is. And I know I've heard so many stories, and it's like, it's crazy because I've been in Minnesota and I've had a bunch of teammates, a ton of teammates, and a lot of new faces I see every year. And, and seeing people get traded during the year and stuff, it's always so tough. And you're just like, I never want to be in that position. And then all of a sudden you're in the position now, let alone Monday's media day for teams. Sunday is usually your team dinner. And it's Friday at 8:30.
You're like, I'm headed.
You literally.
Where were you?
I was at home in Westchester watching a movie or something. It was like night, right? It was at night.
It was at 8:30. It dropped at like 8.
Yeah. I was watching
50?
a movie with my son and my wife, like in our living room, whatever. And I was like, oh shit.
I was stunned. You should imagine how I looked and at him and said, there's no way you're saying this correctly, that this is true. And it's like,
that's such a funny way for him to tell you it, though.
That is like it gets there's a better story. It's a great story. It could get better too. And
I remember thinking, like, as a fan, I was thinking, oh God, that's got to be really like if this is something that he didn't know about, which I assumed, I'm thinking that's got to be weird for him. Like I'm thinking,
you just saw me all week.
Yeah, right, exactly, right. And I'm just thinking like, I hope he wants to come to New York, but of course he's not. Like if he doesn't know, like that must be just. Of course he's going to love his team.
Yeah.
And you want somebody who wants, and then, so I remember the first day, the media day with the Knicks or whatever it was when you came.
They couldn't even mention my name.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah. They couldn't talk about it. But then like when you first came, I remember just like literally going like, gosh, I hope he and Jalen get along. I hope he
I was stunned because I was just like, even when I got to New York, I was just kind of like, there's no way this has happened, dude. And then on top of that, the trade never got finalized. So now they're having training camp, and we can't even be in the same room. Right. We can't even be in the site. We can't be around each other, nothing. So I'm just like a imaginary person there that's not there.
Yeah. I'm actually really curious your perspective on this. We did an ep a couple of weeks ago with Flea in LA, and he told a story about the Luka trade, and I told Flea about the Luka trade, and he freaked out because he's the biggest. And by the way, I hadn't seen Flea in like 25 years.
Yeah,
he was like I literally, and I was at some party in LA, and it had just happened, and I knew he was a huge Lakers fan.
So he freaks out. He's falling on the floor. Did all sorts of stuff. I think my question for you now, having lived through this, because there's the player / people who work for a team perspective, and then there's the fan perspective. There's everyone else.
Yeah.
When these things happen, you were an example of this. That one was an example of this. There's a few every year, obviously. When these things happen, people go nuts almost to the point that it's like a bigger deal than a playoff win. You know, it's like a thing that just causes.
It's news.
Has your perspective now changed for when it happens to other people because you've lived through it? Or are you still just kind of like, I
already respected the players that have to get traded and go to a new team and make it work immediately. Like, you know, especially middle of the year, you know, people got kids and stuff. Imagine having to tell your kids they can't see their friends anymore. We got to go. That's tough. And, you know, and isn't it crazy? Both big trades, the Knicks are involved.
Yeah.
And the Knicks trade for me and shocked the world. Luka gets traded after the Lakers came here and whooped our ass.
That's right.
I was like, we played so bad we had to get rid of people. It's like a horror movie. This is what?
Yeah.
And that's right. And I just it's just a different respect. It's just different respect too. Cause you know, it's different. It's just like having having a parent die or anything. It's just a different, you just don't understand it until you've experienced it. Yeah, and you're experienced it. Because experience teaches all. And, you know, I had a beautiful house that has 9 years of memories, and then it has all these amazing artifacts of my career and friends of mine throughout the years and my family. And you're told, it's 8:50, 9 p.m. You're like, hey, man, you got 12 hours to go pack up and go to New York. You're like, wait, what? And then you have no place to live.
Right.
And you're now used to being in a big house with a lot of space and your own life to now you're like locked in a hotel room.
And it's also New York.
In New York. You're like, I don't know what's going on. Next thing you know, you're trying to figure out how can I, you know, and I got big ass feet. So it's like, I can't just bring a whole closet of shoes that I have over, you know? So now you're trying to figure out maybe 6 pairs of shoes that can make it work with a bunch of outfits.
Which shoes to bring.
And then I'm trying to figure it all out. And then you got to get a fits. And then you're like, well, we're going to Charleston too. So now you have to have it packed to go to Charleston.
The climate.
It's just like everything was just messed up. So I was kind of like, and then I have no time after to just fly back after training camp to go get my stuff settled and then come back with more stuff because I don't even have a place to live. Yeah. Now you know you're in New York. There's no home.
Right.
So it's like you got to be very selective about the amount of space you're using with clothes and closet space. So
living in New York, some space is at a premium.
Oh my goodness. I was just like, this is wild.
And then you got to perform. Then you got to
exactly. Oh, no training camp for you either because the trade is not finalized. So you don't get to learn anything, be around the players, the coaches, nothing.
Right.
You just have to kind of live by yourself.